Hey everyone, Anya here at Our Guild Home, where I like to share tips for a simple, beautiful, healthy, and sustainable living. And in today's video, I would like to talk about dandelions and why you might not want to see them as a weed anymore, but actually something really healthy that you can eat and you can make all sorts of things with. So if you have a garden like this, it's highly likely that you have some dandelions, and you might have in the past tried to eradicate them in all sorts of different ways. Um, I've always actually thought that dandelions are kind of beautiful. They have these yellow flowers and they pop up, especially in the spring, but here in Northern California, we still have them growing strong into the summer. And this plant has been used for centuries in Europe, according to the saying, let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. It's really, I don't know why it fell out of favor with people. One reason could be that when you eat the leaves, they're actually bitter, and bitter is a flavor component that has been pretty much missing from the Western diet. We have sweet, we have salty, we have sour, but we don't really have a lot of bitter. So if you have them growing on your lawn, or you have a neighbor that would let you pick their dandelions, make sure that you find some that haven't been sprayed with pesticides, or wherever you pick them. And here are some ways that you can use them. You can actually use the entire flower. You can use the blossoms, and you just pick them when they're full yellow. You pick off the whole blossom, and then you just pick off the petals. The petals taste sweet, a little bit honey-like, and what you can do with those is make them into a honey dandelion flower butter. You can use them in cakes, in cookies. You can infuse vinegar with them. You can pour them in honey and make a dandelion honey. There are so many different uses. You can sprinkle them over a salad, and really the possibilities here are very endless. And the leaves are just as good. You can eat them raw, chopped up. And I also want to mention that, again, the leaves tend to be a little bit on the bitter side. The older the leaves are, the more bitter they get and the bigger they are. So I have found that while we can buy the leaves in bunches in stores and on farmers markets, those tend to be pretty long and big leaves because they just probably sell better, but actually they're really bitter. The ones that I find in my own garden, the smaller ones, they're probably a third of the size that what we can buy in the store, are actually way less bitter. So you want to find young ones, and you can just chop them up and put them into a salad. You can steam them just like greens. If you don't like the bitterness so much, then you can just add them to your salad on top, or add them to your green soups. You can make a dandelion soup. You can dry them and make a tea from them. You can put them in your smoothie, and you can just experiment and see how you can incorporate it in your diet. And lastly, the root of the dandelion has also been used for centuries. You can pick out the root and dry it, roast it, and ground it and drink it as a coffee substitute. You can also dry the root, chop it in little pieces, and make a simple herb tincture from that, or dandelion root tincture. I'll be linking a video that I made earlier about how to make a simple tincture, and so the concept is the same. All of these are really good. You can make the roasted or dried root into a tea and drink that. And all of the parts of the dandelion are detoxifying, they're anti-inflammatory, they're said to have anti-cancer properties. They're really good for digestion, for bile flow, for kidney function, for liver function, and they have so many more properties that, again, let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. And I invite you to try out as many uses for dandelions as you can. Stay also tuned because I have a recipe coming up for how you can make a simple dandelion salad for the summer that's super delicious, super good, and it's become a real staple in our household. I also want to mention that the dandelion that you like to eat here has a lookalike, and I'm not sure exactly what it's called. What I can tell you is that the flowers look very much the same. They're yellow, they have pretty much the same shape, but when you look at the leaves, they're smaller and they're really fuzzy. The dandelion that you want to eat has very smooth, dark green leaves, and if you see some of them that have some tiny hairs on them, a little bit fuzzy, that's a dandelion lookalike that you do not want to eat, just a precaution. And if you're not quite sure, just better leave them alone. But once you see them side by side, it's actually pretty easy to distinguish between the two and find out which one is the dandelion that you do want to eat. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. I upload new content every week. You can also go to my blog at ourgabledhome.com where I have more tips and recipes, and I look forward to seeing you here next time. Thank you so much for watching.